Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 5. You are chugging right along in this course. I know summer is very near, and for some of you, you've officially started it on your teaching side of the house. But as students, we're getting closer to it. So the end is near, but that means there's a lot of work to do as well. So we'll find that mix and that balance. So let's give you an overview for week 5. We're going to start really trying to focus in on the site budget. I know that you've had some conversations with administrators for assignment number 1 about a site budget, and then assignment number 5 will be getting into like a mock future budget conversation. So you've had some of that, but for this week, you're going to get into further discussions from your readings um, to really help you understand elements that you want to pay attention to, as well as how to just track your site budget. There'll be a conversation of or reading about using Excel or Google Sheets, but keeping track of your budget as well. So all important components. So let's look at what week 5 is requiring of you. So with that, the start of the Christian message, it brings up Proverbs. Proverbs gives us a lot of wisdom. Again, King Solomon, being inspired by God, had these thoughts of how to be solid in so many different ways and forms. One of them is about finances and taking care of your house. So there's a reference to Proverbs in your Christian message this week. As always, the instructional video will be right here on top of the email that I send out. But for your reading for the week, looking at in school finance, the California perspective, you're going to be looking at chapters 9 and chapters 10. Chapters 9 is the focus on the school site budget. It really is, why does the school site need a budget? What are the things and components you might need to look for? Not that larger picture of the categoricals and all that, but really just running the house and managing then those categoricals and how they can influence as well. But really, from there, looking at that budget worksheet or thinking about how you keep track of your budgets, your site accounting for, what am I spending in the area of instructional materials? What am I spending in the area of conferences? What am I spending in the area of teacher supplemental? Those kind of conversations will come out in that. And then looking into chapters 10, the other one will be a focus on the annual budget. The rest of chapter 9, getting to using Microsoft to build your and monitor your budget, staying organized. But the annual audit is something that, I'm going to be honest, for a school site, you typically don't take care of the audit there. You answer to different questions that might happen, but the audit is something that is required by the district for sure, to make sure that you are within your means, staying within your bounds, and what you say you've spent, it's verification that you are spending in there. So there's a need by the district level administration to have school sites ready to account or answer for it. I've seen for myself as an administrator, it's been more coming to the school site and looking at attendance audits, again, based off our payment being on attendance. There's always an audit that comes down. Are you recording that correctly? Or if you're saying, hey, this person was here, but we see it noted incorrectly, how did you change or adjust that? Those kind of questions that come through an audit. So I know an audit can seem overwhelming, but I think the goal of an audit is to say, are you staying accountable to what you're saying you're doing? That's the best way to put it. I will say, as a site administrator, encouraging your PTA, PTOs, or PTSAs, if you're secondary level, to really keep an audit for themselves, making sure their budgets are in alignment with what they're spending on, and keeping their possibly 501c3 compliance there to stay as a nonprofit. Those are the other elements that come out of an audit. I will tell you, when you go through a federal program monitoring, an FPM, when they monitor those categoricals that you've received, it is again that verification that, hey, are you doing what you're doing? So that's where an audit can come into place. So that's chapters 9 and 10. Chapters 9, I should bring it up, and looking at the school site budget, you're going to hear about the terms centralized and decentralized in a school site budget, and that's going to be part of the discussion board for this week. So chapter 9 is going to be a great reference tool for you. Then if we keep reading, you're going to get to be able to see a school district's website on their budgets and how they're based. That is just a website that you're going to go to, be able to read how San Diego Unified is pretty much their philosophy for budget. So that way, I think it's a great tool for the community to understand various stakeholders. You can give them that site to go to. Then from there, I'm going to talk about these next three: the CDE's finance webpage, educational budget webpage, and then the 2021 budget webpage. So those all come from the California Department of Ed. So that finance one, when you go to it, it's going to talk about financing grants that the state issues, and you can click on and see all these. But I just want you to see the train that is sort of being created here, or the trail, not the train. Sorry, I guess I want to think about travel right now. But this is the trail that finances follow. So there's this overarching, does it come from local control formula funding? Is it an education budget? Is it a principal apportionment? All of these you can read a little bit more on, but where we want to get specific is having you start to look at the education budget. And again, this is just following this link right here. If you look at it this way, education budget, but it's also a link on Blackboard, and get to read a little bit more, explore how you would like to explore. Always Cal Ed Facts are great pages to read. And then you're going to see right here this Budget Act of 2020-21. This talks about the budget that was adopted, those components. That is that third CDE 2021 budget link as well. This is just going to give you the overview of what the budget came to be for this year. We're in that budget process right now. Again, January in 2021 saw the initial proposed budget from the governor. May saw the revised from the governor, and that is now going through its legislative process to be approved. There's some back and forth that's going into the funding. Again, I know this is school finance, but please know when we talk about a governor's budget, it's the entire state's budget that they're going through. Again, we as educators want to listen keenly to decisions being made, but I will tell you this gives a great overview of that process so you can understand it. And then Proposition 98 is that funding amount that the state sets aside to fund for schooling. So you can read all these components. I don't have to go over all of it now, but just please know that's the reading for the week. And then you've got a learning module. Again, we'll go into site budgeting challenges and the opportunities, thinking about, what am I putting my goals and my focus on? What do I need to forecast to spend for this year? Or is there a future project that I need to start working on as well? As always, as a new administrator, you're going to make that connection with your business services, and they might have a philosophy as well. So reading all this is great, but having that conversation and seeing where your business services want you to focus and function as well, whether it's centralized or decentralized, that's going to be very important to understand. The discussion board for this week, you're going to see there are two different discussion boards. The first one, like I shared, was on the discussion about being centralized or decentralized in a site budget planning. When you read Chapter 9, it'll give you some views on those, and you're going to write your opinions to them, supporting it again, as always, with reference. It's probably to Chapter 9 or anything else that you've read that gives you insight, or maybe from an interview that you had with an administrator about site budgets as well, if they brought up that centralized or decentralized budget. Please remember that is due by Thursday night at 11:59. Should be a minimum of 250 words with a citing, again, of material to support your opinions or where you base your opinions from. The second discussion board, the design is actually to be able to put up your presentations that are due this week, your group presentations. So group presentations should be posted by one of the group members. So in all honesty, there'll be 4 initial posts, because there are 4 groups for our class. Just one from each group is all that's needed, so not all members need to post it, just select one. And then you will, from there, that should be posted by Thursday night. Then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, watch those presentations and please respond to 2 of those presentations. So I'll state that one more time. For the discussion board number 2, one of the members of the group will post their presentation, and then that's by Thursday night, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all students will go in and view 2 other presentations that are not your own and give your feedback or thoughts to or questions to. So that's the discussion board for the week. And then The reminder, the assignment is the collaborative topic presentation. So we are going to hear a lot about LCFF and some of the equity issues, as quite a few of you are presenting on that. But I think it'll be great to hear the different insights and the different research that is out there. That, again, ultimately is due by Sunday at 11:59 by, again, one group member. If you get done sooner, it can be submitted sooner as well, since you're putting up on the discussion board. But if you find from the discussion board, oh, we want to tweak a few things, please know that final submission for the assignment itself to have the assignment graded by me will be due on the Sunday evening. Just, again, one group member needs to submit it, and that'll be submitted for the whole group. So with that, I just want to talk about looking ahead. I know that you're in the midst of group presentations, possibly have just recorded them or are going to record them to get them up. Reminder for that group presentation should be 10 to 15 minutes. Spur some thoughts in us, ask some questions of us as the audience. Not that we'll respond directly, but might be in the discussion board that you'll find that. But there are two other assignments that will help complete the cycle of our course, and that one of them is due next week in week 6 on that Sunday, and that is the ASB accounting manual paper that's due. You are going to see in week 6 that, forgive me, my computer I think is being weird right now. I'm hoping it's not catching it, but if it did, I shut it down. Sorry for that. You're going to get the link to an entire manual for ASB and its processes. The assignment asks you to review that manual. I need to be clear here. I'm not asking you to read everything. I know that it's a large manual, but I'd like you to focus on the first 3 chapters and then maybe 2 other chapters that you find interest to, that you think an administrator might need to have that information on, or that you think, hey, I need more information on as well. And you'll see all those topics within the reference there that you can choose from. But then you're going to write a 2 to 3 page paper that sort of summarizes the major points from what you've read, what you can see in the manual from the table of contents, and then again, what you believe as an administrator needs to be especially mindful of when dealing with those funds from an associated student body. Again, I know that we have Stephanie from the private schools, but thinking about, you might have, if it's not an ASB directly, a student council or something to that nature, or if you are a elementary person, that student council instead of an ASB might be where you're having to make that connection as well. They all should fall under the same monitoring process that's mentioned here. So just know that it is going to affect all areas of K-12 education experience if you have these student groups. Very, very important to realize. So again, a 2 to 3 page paper. That reminder, again, it should be in APA format with a cover page, reference page, and then 2 to 3 pages of content. Again, we do want to keep it within that realm of those. So that, again, is due week number 6. So I hope that this has been a beneficial overview for you of the week. Keeping track of your site budget is always important. It's something that you'll constantly be bringing up, whether it's with staff, your school site council. So please really process what chapters 9 is trying to teach you about looking at that, being able to monitor your budget and ways to monitor your budget. I'll tell you, a spreadsheet is my best friend. That way I can do deductions using the summary, the sums component or the equations component on Excel. If you don't know those pieces, brushing up on Excel might be a good thing as well. Some districts do provide a spreadsheet for administrators to use. I've had to create my own, so just depends on the situation there. But it's important to keep monitoring your school site budget when you become responsible for it. Again, if you have any questions, need any clarification or support in any way, shape, or form, please don't hesitate to reach out either through an email, a text, or a phone call, and I'm here to support. Hope it's a great week. God bless.